Can
I'm
you
here.
share the Blender file?
I actually just share the OBJ file.
There. Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So let me share my screen really quick. So this, I actually made these like three different resolution of the articulations in the Blender, so that we can actually use this for the rendering purposes later on. The thing about this remesh is that if you just use this as is, it's a little bit hard to make a good texture for it, right? So for this one, I'm just going to use this for the what is it, the dual mesh, because this is much simpler geometry compared to that. Because I was going to just demonstrate the structure, making structure for this one. So here, once there's a dual mesh created, you can just copy this over here, and then you can, when you select the dual mesh here, you can select the add modifier and then wireframe. Once you click that wireframe, now it's trying to create wire around this geometry, but now it's too thick. So we're going to make it thinner, like this, so that it has a very nice structure connect. I mean, it's hard to say, like it's like, you know, really working structure, but in this there is some way of saying that this is not just a random facade, but this is going to be added on as one of the layer for the facade design layer, the automated facade design, automated facade designer, facade assembly. Yeah, so here you can also click the thickness to be relative, but you know, it doesn't always work if you have a too thin of a frame. So now we have a structure. Now we have this the low res, this medium res, and this high res. Let's test another one with this one. I'm going to create the tessellation based on this. Okay, I'm going to just make a, yeah.
One question. So the OBJ that you shared is for the rendering, right? Or should we import this into Blender?
You can import this into Blender right now if you don't have these geometries.
Okay. Okay, I'll do that. Okay.
And use this simple geometry to create this structure thing, okay? Because this is too heavy to be used during the class, I just made this as a low res, medium res, and high res.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
So my thing looked like just fragile everything. Can I share my screen real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. So I just applied a dual mesh here, and that has been created here.
What? What is this currently?
This one?
What this? No. Did you make the dual mesh from this mesh?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Can you click this one? And also, okay, you don't have any modifier in there. What did you follow the exact process that I told you?
Yes, I did. Where can I see that the number that I applied? But yes, I applied 9, 0.5 something, that kind of stuff. I applied it.
Okay.
Maybe I can go over with this one probably.
That's strange. That dual mesh is very strange.
I know this looks like something happened here, but interesting. Okay, maybe I can go with this one.
Can you actually use my OBJ to create the
okay.
yeah, I wanna
Okay.
make sure that it's working for you.
Can I import just your obj here?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I gotta use your one and here, this one. Okay, and can I just click somewhere here?
Yeah,
guess.
sure. Oh, yeah. It
Okay.
doesn't matter.
Cool. Okay, thank you.
No, like let's try it with the simple mesh that you know you're gonna have.
Okay. It takes some time to read that, but
So I see when you export the OBJ, it saves all the modifiers that you applied, right?
What was that?
So I just imported your OBJ.
Yeah.
I'm just seeing that it has all the, you know, all the steps that you did, all the modifiers. So
Yeah.
cool.
okay. So
Yeah,
Simon, maybe I can
you
take-
have that, and then you create the dual mesh again with that.
So here, dual mesh.
No, dual mesh is on the edit.
And it is.
This one.
Okay, got it. Dual mesh. Okay.
Yeah, it's now working. Yeah, I think it's going to.
Yeah, it's gonna
Work
take
on
some
it.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you can go. You can start with that. But
Yeah,
yeah, I can
yeah.
follow you later. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
it's the oh. So can you see that? So now
What
you
the
see this
hell?
kind of
Hmm.
fragile stuff here.
I think you probably missed a step or two when I
Cool.
was making the adjustment for the mesh.
Okay.
Or did you?
Okay.
Maybe this tissue setting that you have is not. I don't know. I don't know what's really happening.
Okay.
It's
So you
strange.
think
I've never
it's-
seen that. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah. Maybe yeah, I can see that recorded file later. But yeah, you can.
Yeah,
go
yeah,
with
yeah,
that.
yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm not getting the edit tab.
Oh, okay. Can you share your screen as well?
Okay. So yeah, that one is missing.
Can you go to edit,
Edit. Okay.
preference, and add-ons? Type here tissue.
Okay. Issue.
Check this box. Check it. Refresh it. Close it.
Mhm.
Now you have edit here.
So the one that I should use is this one, right?
Yeah.
That's dual. Okay.
Yeah.
Dual mesh.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll wait for it. Thank you.
Cool.
I also want to share my screen. I feel like something happened similar to me, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Let's see.
Yeah. Like this is after the do mesh.
What? Okay, that's very strange. And you have the tissue tool installed and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Why is this happening? Why am I not experiencing the same?
Yeah, I got a weird mesh too.
Really?
Mm.
Is there something special about my computer? I don't know. Can you, Sarita, can you actually delete these complicated meshes and then make a very simple plane for me real quick? I just want to test if it's working or not.
I have yours here. Like this one.
I'm not seeing any changes on the computer.
Oh, let me see. Let me share again. It's not sharing. That's weird. Is someone else also sharing the screen?
No. Let me share my screen, and then I'll actually demonstrate it with the very simple mesh. See if you guys can you know, create this again. So go to the mesh and then plane. Actually, we're not even going to use plane. Let's add an object that it looks like isosphere, right? Okay, and we move it this way, and then here we now have this sphere looking thing, right? And what we're gonna do is actually make the subdivision surface, not this one, simple one. Just do 2, because we're just trying to see if it's working or not. We now did the subsurface thing, and what we can do is create a dual mesh with this, and you have a dual mesh here. I'm just going to move it just right over here, and I'm going to so does this work for you guys? So were you guys able to make this as this like a golf ball looking thing?
I couldn't. It gave me a weird mesh.
Huh. What version of a Blender do you have?
I just, you know, I downloaded it today, so I use the most recent one.
Okay. I think that there is something wrong with the.
This is what I'm getting.
What the hell? That's very strange.
I have the same problem, same issue like Carlos as well.
Okay, can you guys click this? Can you click this here, Carlos? This button. This button. On the left corner. The Blender icon here, right here.
Yeah. For some reason, I'm not seeing your pointer. I'll stop sharing.
Okay. So here I'm going to share my screen, and then here there is this Blender icon here, right? And here you can check the Blender version. Check. You can do the check. You can check the Blender version. Do you guys have a 2.9?
Mine is 2.93.
Okay.
1.2.
Okay. Maybe they changed something on the remesh or the tissue tool. Because this used to be actually something that wasn't included in the Blender. So what you guys can do is go to the internet, and then the here, tissue Blender add-on. There's a GitHub here, and then you can. Oh, it's not prepackaged. Okay. What's inside? Let's see. Oh, okay. That's all Python code. I thought that once they put it in the actual part of the Blender pre-included package, it should work. That sucks.
Can you share your installer of the previous version?
I mean, I'm not doing anything special here. I'm just doing the same thing, you know, like uncheck this box, check this box, refresh, and.
No, but you had another version, right? 2.9. We have 2.93.
You can actually download that Blender archive. Previous versions of the Blender here, and all previous versions, you can download it here. 2.90. Okay, you guys can download this and then see if that works. I'm going to share this link with you guys.
was 2.90, right?
2.90, yes.
I have a very old Blender version. I don't know which one it is. But whenever I try to open that edit button, it just nothing happens.
Really?
I can share.
Yeah, okay, okay.
So this one, I just like I click here and then edit.
Oh, because you were not expanding the tissue tool. They click this arrow.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. Yes. Peel mesh. Yeah, click it.
I'll just try. Maybe I get the same error as everyone else.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see. Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh, it created. Okay. Yours didn't bug out. Okay.
How do I move this now?
Hit the G and X.
G
And then you, yeah, G and X, and then you can move your object X direction.
GX and hold it and move it. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's convenient, right? Yeah.
What?
Where did it go?
I don't know.
Did you delete it?
I don't know.
You deleted it. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So
Yeah,
this is
it works. Yeah.
It worked. Nice.
Yeah. Cool.
Thanks.
Yes. I'll let you guys download this new version because I feel like the everyone wants to have everything working.
Yeah, just so that I'm uninstalling Blender and I'm going to install previous version.
Okay. Sometimes the newest version is not the best version, you know.
Like Python.
Yeah.
Sometimes does crash, right?
While you guys are waiting for that, I'm going to show you something quickly. So here we have these like surfaces right here. It's like a I don't know, triangle. What I'm gonna do, actually, I'm gonna add just a cube for now, and then I'm going to subdivide this. Just a simple one. I'm going to apply it. Then now you see that there are like segmentations of the meshes on the same faces. And now I'm going to make what do I want to make? I'm just gonna make a cone. Well, instead of the cone, let's bring something interesting. We already have some interesting geometry here. So we have this like a test one and test articulation as OBJ. I'm going to import those files. Oh, that's big. It's a big file, but we can scale it down on the item. Maybe a little bit more. right? And here I'm going to use this edit mode and then the test mode. Select 2 and test it. Okay. Okay. And then what will happen is that these two will use the cube will use this as their articulation on the surfaces. So it's like an automatic assembly for your geometry. But this is also computationally heavy, so everything nice is very computationally heavy. So did you guys download and install your new old via Blender into your computer? And can anyone tell me that that new installation is working better than the?
I think I got. I was able to make the dual mesh.
Okay, nice. It's working.
Yeah, I have same thing. I have same thing like Carlos. So.
Great.
You said to press G and what else? G and
GX, GY, GG. Oh, that means that the moving is hooked to the Y or Z or X as a rail. So,
Great. Okay, so
now you can create your structure.
So okay, so this one has a dual mesh. Do I do it to the other two as well, or not?
No, don't do it. Don't try to do a mesh because that will crash your computer.
Okay, so I'll just leave it there for now then.
Yeah. Select your dual mesh and then test it that the wire mesh thing is working on the modifier. Go to modifier and the wireframe.
Wireframe.
Yeah, it's working.
All right. Great.
Now you have a structure. Yeah, great.
Is there a button for like zooming in or focus?
Which one was it? I forgot. There is. Yeah, there is. Blender is actually super powerful platform that is free for everybody. So yeah, okay, yeah. Now I share my screen. There's a very interesting looking thing popped up. So do you guys see this as a tessellation result? That the cube became now this insane object. Right. So this tessellation feature, we're not going to do this today because this is way too computationally heavy. But you saw how I did it, right? So what you can do is that you can have some geometry like this. And for instance, you can make a plane. You can make a plane and then maybe scale it up a little bit. Scale it up and then move it down a little bit. You go to the modifier. Maybe it shouldn't be like that big. For example, you can have a more of a slim profile, and then you can maybe copy this and move it to the same direction, and then maybe make this a little bit smaller, so that you can have a dissimilar let's say plane that is laid out for the your facade assembly that you made in the Houdini, for example, something like this. Yeah, and then you can actually overlay on your mesh automatically, right? You can overlay it automatically so that do you remember my if you remember my project, you can make you can make some like manual decisions on what surfaces or what kind of shape of surfaces that you're going to overlay these highly articulated small surfaces. That's how I did my the overlay. But this is a computationally too heavy, so we cannot cover that through the Zoom, unfortunately. But I showed you how you do it. There are some fine tuning that's necessary for this to happen correctly, but then this is through the tissue tool. Okay, tissue tessellate, right? So if I do select this and select this, did I subdivide this? No. Yeah, I didn't subdivide this yet. So go to subdivide. And simple. I want maybe like 4 per 1. Apply. I have this and I have this, right? And then you can now tessellate. You have to select this one first and this one. Tessellate. Let's make another modifier here, extrusion, food extrusion, solidify. Thickness. I'm just giving it a thickness because when I was selecting these two meshes, it was automatically setting up as this as a something that's to be put on here. So I'm making this as a surface. I mean, and as a solid, not as a plane. And once I have this and this, you can tessellate. Mode, quad, and etch. Rotation default, random default, active UV doesn't have UV map, but you can assign your UV map. So once you have a UV map, you can use your UV map to do so. And then proportion and constant. Okay, that's all good. Yes. So if you have your own OBJ already, you can test this out on your computer. The good thing about this way is that you have some sort of a design agency while you use you use the help of Houdini and other tools, and you can basically open open your file in the Photoshop. Something like this. And you can do, first of all, you have to unselect this, and then you can do color range, and you can harvest harvest something by color, for example, like this. And you can basically trace this the shape, and then use that as a geometrical information that you can populate these the same color the panels. So for example, you want all these panels to be this panel, you can basically bring one of these like a glass panel image into your Houdini, and then generate the 3D tessellation from the Houdini with the details with multiple layers so that you have a nice detail. Then you can populate these the facade panels in Blender using a tessellation. And you can do the same for the other shapes too. You can have this shape. If you like this shape, you can actually trace this and then use that as a base geometry to overlay your geometry automatically, right? So not everything is completely automated, but then there are some things that I'm automating here to accelerate the process of facade assembly, right? And if you particularly like some certain geometry like this, like I'm just ballparking here. You can decide to have some sort of a some sort of this shape to be on the forward, and then some shapes to be behind, for example, so that you can have a more three-dimensionality added. More, you're more designing that as a designer. But if not, we use this method. Everything will be more or less flat, but then even with this one, you can do Boolean commands to segment some of your meshes and then create as a separate part, so that you will have a nice three-dimensionality for your building.
So you mean that you would save an image file with a selection, and then the rest is just blank, and use that image to create another mesh, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And just for this tessellation, so that red rectangle that you did there, what's the subdivision that you applied for that?
What do you mean? Like number?
Yeah. What's
Like
the
number, you can do whatever you want. I'm just testing it out. So, there is no golden rule of thumb. You just pick whatever you want. Depends on your building scale, your targeted scale. So basically what tessellation is trying to do is that it's going to try to fit this one inside of here. So you see how it should be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have a weird question. So
Yeah.
I download the 2.9, but on my the sidebar, I don't have the edit option. Where can I find it? Like I have item 2 and view, but I don't have edit.
So go to edit over here, and then you will see the preference on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Click the preference and then search tissue.
Search. Can I search? I don't see a.
Can you share your screen?
Search.
I don't see your screen.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't get it.
But when I was giving directions for Carlos, did you see that? Like you have to install the add-on to use the tissue, right?
Yeah.
Did you do that?
Yeah. Well, for the new version, not yet. But
Yeah, that's probably why you don't have the tissue.
Yeah.
So go to preference and then install that add-on.
Okay. Okay, the what's the item called again?
Tissue.
Tissue. Okay, let's see it. Yeah. Oh yeah, I got it now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah, quick question.
Yeah.
What is the thing that we need to do after we subdivide the surfaces before implementing images on the surfaces? I think there was another step between that two processes.
I just scaled it up, just to make it look bigger. Scale up
Okay,
and then apply the displacement.
Can I show my screen real quick?
Yeah.
So here, I follow all the steps here now. I'm going to create my own skin here right now. So I created this subdivided surfaces here now. And before apply these images, do I have to do something else for them? Because I applied these images here, but I'm not seeing anything. Even though
Okay.
this
Displacement. Displacement. So you go to the modifier, and then the displace.
This one?
Yeah, displace.
Oh, got it. Okay.
And you go to the texture, and then click this. Yeah. I mean, you already have your texture in, so you can probably use your old texture.
Oh yeah, maybe I can open it up again.
Okay.
Okay. All right. All right.
Boom. Yeah, it happened. Yeah. It happened. And you just need to change the strength and
intensity here. But where was it?
Go to the modifier. Modifier. The wrench. Yeah, wrench. Yeah.
Here we go. Okay. So wait.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm trying to just trace my memory that I can't remember that. So here. Okay, now next step is this one here. So how do we do that?
Don't forget to apply displacement, right? Before you move to the next step. Yeah.
Apply this one here. So I think I'm gonna copy here. I'm gonna apply this one to something else here. So,
remesh.
Oh, right, remesh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But now you're in voxel. You don't want voxel. You actually want blocks.
Block.
Yeah. And increase that value. 9 is probably too high. It's very heavy. So, don't go crazy. Unless you have a super computer.
Get them right. Okay, maybe just I'm gonna have to number 8.
Yeah, and then just a scale. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean it looks pretty cool. Right?
All right, now select this both of them, and then.
No, before you do that, always you need to have a habit to accept the change, right? Apply.
Okay.
Apply. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But this is like very, very high mesh to be applied on your tessellation. So tessellation is computationally very, very heavy because they need to make the calculation. Like this is now like square, right? But if let's say your surface is here and then your division is not square, it's more rectangle, then your computer is trying to calculate what's the best way to fit this here. So your computer will try to manually scale this down to here, along with the calculation of how much they need to make the shrink.
To fill the gaps. Okay.
Yeah. So let me show you one good example that I.
Please.
Yeah. So on this tutorial, this guy is basically making all these boxes right here, and then make this as an even square sort of a setting.
Can you share your screen?
Am I not sharing? Okay, here, yeah. So here, this guy is making these the subdivision of the cube, right? Subdivision in the cube. and these are more or less equal lengths, equal width and height. And then this guy is basically loading these images or more of like a three-dimensional textured the geometry to create different types of facade on this the building, right? Do you see how he's using this and this geometry as a tessellation? So what tessellation does is that it's trying to fit this into this boxes. So
Gotcha.
whenever you have a modular, some sort of the thing, you can plot it out automatically.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to worry about alignment and everything. It will automatically decide it for you. Now this guy has a very boring facade with a very regular shape. But what if you have a very interesting shape, and then you are going to, let's say, do something very interesting with this geometry? Then you can have like crazy, like articulated geometry here that's going to be plotted out like this. And then in contrast, you can have some sort of grid aesthetic thing right next to it to create something more interesting, rather than using it as a purely, I don't know, a tool to assist you with the detail. But you know, it's a very useful tool in those places, anyways. So yeah, this guy gives this person gives you very good tutorial for the Blender. So if you guys are interested, you should watch it. But you know, my computer is crashing, so for the tessellation, I already kind of showed you how it works, and then other things are just the fine tuning. So I'm sure you guys can figure this out on your own when you are not in the Zoom Zoom environment. So I'm going to just open this this file again, where this was where we were, right? And then I'm going to, sorry about redoing this, you know, multiple times, but this, you know, the work like this always, you know, involves the crash and waiting, so it's inevitable. Okay. Okay, everything is in order, and I'm going to save all this as OBJ again. Make this file. Okay, it's working on the saving, and then we're going to.
Sorry, how did you do the wireframe thing, the last one?
Yeah. Have you done it?
No.
Okay. Okay. Did I go too fast? I'll after.
I think I just missed it.
Okay. Sorry. After it's finished. Okay, it's finished saving. So you have this, right? And you can make a dual mesh.
Okay, I thought that a dual mesh was. Yeah, that's what I did with you, right?
Yeah. And then add the modifier and then do wireframe on the dual mesh. Yeah. Then you will have something like this. You just need to decrease the thickness of the wire so that it becomes this more or less uniform kind of a shape of a structure. Yeah. Good.
I'm just searching for where I have to decrease it. Is it like the thickness?
Yeah, thickness. You need to make it, thinner to make it look like a structure. Okay, I'm going to close this file and then start the new Blender file, and then put this the saved OBJ into the new file. OBJ. You can use whatever the rendering software you're most be comfortable with. You can use even Rhino. What do you guys prefer? Do you want me to show how to render in the Blender, or I can do V-Ray, I can do Unreal, I can do Keyshot probably, or like Twin Motion? What's your favorite?
So I don't think I have any of those installed actually.
Okay, let's use the let's use this. Let's use the Blender. Blender actually has a pretty nice rendering engine. So what I'm going to do here is that actually use this the low res one as the base in the back. And the this highest res one as the outside layer, right?
How did you rotate it? Really rotate that one?
This
Is it?
it's under item. It's under item.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Right, something like this. Of course, this alignment is not perfect, but like this. And let's look at the. So we start with the lowest res one, and we're going to add material. We're going to add a material here. That I don't need it. That new material. And what's nice about the Blender is that you can actually use node to your shading work, sculpting, shading. So we're in the shading. So go to the shading, and then it will give you the ability to manipulate the node. Let me know if you guys are here.
No, I'm not there. Could you repeat that part of the material?
So just go to the shading.
Shading, okay.
And select just any one of your plane. Probably plane one is the your the lowest res one, which is the most simple one.
Mm-hmm.
You're here, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And if you get, I don't know, like everyone's the proficiency in the material node design, designing the material node, but it has all the things that you need. It has a base color, subsurface color, and everything. what we're going to do is that we're going to generate a map, like a texture maps. One thing that you can do is that you have this like a very weird website that would let you generate the normal map, displacement map, and the ambient occlusion and specular. So you can actually load your own image here. Okay. So I will go to my image, which is saved here. I was using this one, I believe. Yeah, so you have to actually click this batch mode. You actually have to click this batch mode button on the website and upload your own file. Sorry guys. Oh, maps. Why is it not working? It's okay. We are just going to use the Photoshop because it's as a normal map generator. So if you select, I'm just going to do this for now. And if you're going to select the if you want to select the filter, there is a under the 3D, you can actually generate the bump map and the normal map. Okay, so if you hit the this one, everything's so slow. Okay, so now here we are at the bump map. And this looks fine, so I'm just going to accept it. The benefit of doing this is that on your geometry here, it will make some of your facade elements pop out, some of your facade elements go in, so that you will have a little bit of a three-dimensionality. Export, and I'm just going to save this as map, and I'm going to with another one. And I'm going to do the filter and the generate normal map.
Can you tell me like on this website what maps do we need? Like we need a normal map. What else do we need?
Ambient occlusion, specular. If you can get any of all of this, that would be great.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. I think that the problem with my file is that my image file is too big, so that it's kind of having some problem. But if your image is small enough, you should be able to use this normal map a lot. It's very useful. Okay, now we have normal map. Okay, now we don't need anything else. I'm just going to put the where did my normal map go? Did I close it too soon? It's okay.
So which are those nodes that you just added?
Yeah. You just no, I just want to render this nicely so that you guys can, have some idea of how to use this multiple layers in different ways to create their dimensionality.
Can you show me like what are we rendering again? I think I missed that part. Like you rotate the object and you put something like two things together. I think I missed this part.
Okay, so here I'm just going to go back here. We made 3 different layers. I shared that with you guys, right? One is a low res, one is medium res, one is a high res. And then we also have a structure behind. And I just, made them overlaid all together so that it will have an interesting kind of a screening effect between one facade element to other facade element to other facade element.
Okay, so there should be 4 layers.
4 layers, yeah. But you can have how many, like whatever layer that you want to have.
Yeah. And how did you make sure like they are overlapped together? Like
just move it,
Yeah, just rotate it and
rotate and move it. Yeah.
Together.
I mean, ideally you want to actually go to a Rhino or some precise software to make this modification, but then for us that wasn't like this. Making this a rendering isn't the main thing. I just wanted to demonstrate the how you use this layer or how I end this approach it so that we're using the Blender to do it.
Okay, so does it matter like they overlap the models?
Ideally you don't want to overlap, right?
Okay, so just like I can leave a little gap in between because I can't like.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I get it.
You can also another interesting that you can do is that you select this low res one, and then scale it up by X direction. For example, 5. Probably not X direction. Y direction 5. Then you would have some discrepancy between the scales, right? Your low res scale is expressed through this the overlap. If you want to play with the overlap.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So did it save? Wait, why is it not saving? Come on. Now it's saving. Okay, now we have normal map. So I'm going to go back to shading, and then I'm going to put this, and I'm going to bring the original image as well. So here, what you do is that you set the base color first, right? So if for the demonstration purposes, I'm just going to change this and so I'm making this material 01, and I can assign the material okay. Let's bring these down again. Let's bump color. Why is it not giving me render? Interesting. Material is ready to ship. For some reason, it's not showing me the texture. No, that's weird. Well, let me try something real quick, okay? I'm going to open this in Rhino.
So the bump map, you connected that to which one? Because there's not a bump option.
Wait a sec. Bulk map is basically a displacement that you can apply to. So you can go through the displacement, the node again, and to create that what is it? The depth difference between the forward, the facade that's going to be forward and the behind.
Oh, I want to make sure, are you using the size 10 picture in the tutorial?
What was that?
Are you using the size 10 picture? Like the
size 10 picture.
Yeah, are you using size 10 or like as a tutorial? Oh,
what do you mean size 10 picture?
What I'm saying, like this generated map, like for
this,
yeah.
This is 24 by 24.
24 by 24, okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's material, sorry. Sorry, everything is very heavy, so there is a lot of technical issues. You see these meshes, and to be precise, I'm going to just make the bounding boxes for everything, and I'm going to overlay one to another to precisely control these stuff. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to delete these bounding boxes, and you can see this is the structure, right? And what I was trying to do in the Blender is something like this. You scale this up a little bit. To have some sort of a discrepancy between the scales. And what I'm going to do is just to make the, you can do this in any software. I'm just here to demonstrate what can be done through this. Let's use this one. So here. This image is actually very big. It's very big. I'm just going to use smaller file. Which one? This one. This is much lighter. Okay, that's good. I'm going to texture map this as a just box for now, and apply material. You see now like these smaller things as a pop-up object, and Now maybe because this is a chunkier side of the facade panel, this is I'm imagining this as a more opaque thing, and then for this articulated one, I'm just going to make a copy of. Actually, you know what? I'm going to try something fun, and I'm going to assign in the similar pool. I'm just going to assign different iteration. So let's see how that's going to translate. Yeah. And you can also adjust some transparency, for instance, so that there is some, you know, variations. And there is one left here. I think it should be oriented actually the other way. And I'm going to use another material here to demonstrate this. And maybe this has 35 transparency and it can be glowy. So here, like you see, there is a multiple information overlaid one to another, so that, but then it's working with the similar, let's say the data sets. But yeah, you get what I was trying to do, right? And then here on the structure side, you can use this as a structure to hang this up. So I wanted to show you the possibility that how many, like, let's say, different geometries you can interpolate from the one images. And if you can see this as a like multiple overlay, there are different roles that you can assign to the different thickness of the different resolution of your objects, and then that consists the entire, let's say, that contributes to the entire aesthetic of your puzzle. So yeah, this could be one of your outcomes. But if, let's say, you can imagine a version where you're tessellating this with the more with the Houdini panel that we made. So let's try that too. We have this. Where is this change? This wasn't on desktop. Yeah, okay. So we have this test one. As this crazy looking geometry, and then we have this this articulation as an object as another geometry here. Or in this case, you want to maybe like make this a little bigger, so that you can see this articulation through your bigger one. Of course, ideally, like this needs to be cleaned out, and then everything needs to be, let's say, like joined and everything. But I didn't want to spend too much time making those changes manually. So here we're making these manually. Do you guys remember what the facade image that I was using for the select Let me check. I was using is selected is 131. Look at that. And see, yeah. And you can have, let's say, let's quickly make another layer. So if this was, let's say, a very fine level of resolution here, we can change this to change back to the original point separation, which is 1, filling up the entire thing. But then we can actually change this so, 1, 1, 1. Or if you want more, let's say, verticality or horizontality that's expressed to your the model, then we can change this to maybe higher number, something like this. And we're going to harvest this information right now, which is going to be this one. And I'm going to save this geometry as horizontal. And this will be OBJ. Okay, now I'm going to save and put this. Check the yeah, this file is right there, and I can import that file. Yeah. And for this one, to make things a little bit interesting, I'm going to make, so these are some of the images that I already made in the Photoshop. And the difference is that this has some sort of a tiled effect. And like that, flat to that. This. Now this looks completely crazy, but it's, I don't know, I think it's cool. What do you guys think? Did you guys follow what I was doing? Or why?
You just applied another texture, not the original one?
Yeah. And I was doing the you know, I mean, this part you don't have to follow me. Like, this is just my aesthetical choice. You know, this is not, you know, studio. It's more of like technical course, so you don't have to follow exactly what I was doing. But then you see the point, right? Like, what kind of things that can be done using the Houdini script, and what kind of things can be done using the you know, the Blender script. There are different types of things that you can do with these two different applications. Right?
Oh yeah, it looks great. Yeah, I like it a lot. Yeah.
So how are you guys doing?
Can you show the Blender shading again?
Yeah. For some reason, like, this wasn't really rendered.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm just wondering, like, which node to like connect with a different.
Okay. Yeah. Let me set up a few things. So for another thing that could be helpful for you guys is that on the add-on, there is a dynamic sky. You can install this.
You're not changing this.
Oh shit! Sorry. So on the same place that we install the add-on, there is also something called the dynamic sky. And once you have this, you can actually create pretty nice environment by clicking create, dynamic sky, create, and then go to the this world node, and then select the dynamic. Then it becomes super nice pink, you know, lighting condition that could be used for many different, you know, applications. And for the shading part, now we're on animation, but then for the shading part,
What's the name of the add-on?
dynamic sky.
Okay.
Dynamic sky. So for the base color, this is basically diffuse map, right? Diffuse map is going to be the base color. I think it might be the, you know, I'm using too big of an image, so I'll try actually the smaller image that is processed. Okay. Huh. I don't know what's happening really. But here, you're assigning the base color here. So I guess if you guys just want to learn the how to apply textures in the Blender, I think it's better if I just create some sort of a cube and then apply it to there, because right now this guy is having some problem with the texture map in the Blender. I'm going to create new and go to shading and it's lagging. Okay. Yeah, it's stopped. But you know, like Sarita, do you know what kind of software do you use for the render?
I can do Keyshot, but now I'm a Unity user.
Okay. So the Blender actually has a very similar setting with Unreal. I'm actually going to close this and then show it in the Unreal.
You know what I didn't get very well. I mean, I think it's I got, you know, most of it, but how you made the 4 surfaces, you know, how the 4 of them are different. They have different textures or density.
Yeah.
You know, afterwards, could you repeat that, you know, when you are done with the rendering, just to.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, we're finally here. So in blend in the it's the Unreal is very similar to the Unity or the Blender. You can create material. You can create material, and then here you have this base color, metallic, specular, and all these things, and you can bring these textures. You can bring these textures. Today, I think we have to go over a little bit. If you guys are, if you guys have to leave, you can watch the recording later. Because of a lot of you know, the technical issues that we encountered today. So here, so you connect the base color to base color so that your material recognizes it as a as this the thing, and the metallic is something that you you can put it as a constant. So let's say default value is a 0.5. You can connect this to connect this to the metallic. What metallic does is that it makes things a little bit shiny with the different level of a deflection based on the where the light is coming in. And specular is basically just a clear coat. If you think about the actual like you know, spray paint, this is a clear coat. And the roughness is how shiny or how when you get the reflection, how clear is that image? So if you get the higher number, your surface becomes almost mirror. If I mean that lower number, if roughness is lower, you get the very like a rough surface, like almost like a concrete or like some sort of a plaster. Whereas if it's a mirror, you get you have to have a roughness of a 1. And the normal is basically how much of a, let's say, surface tessellation that you were going to have, or the surface like offset you're going to have. And the ambient occlusion here is that how much of a, let's say, like a global shading can happen in your material. And other than that, you don't really need to know it. And there are a bunch of the you know, rendering tutorials out there, so you can watch that. I mean, today's workshop is not really about the rendering per se. It's more about the this was just as a bonus. You know, this is something that you can do. I wanted to show you guys. So I'm gonna go back to the Carlos's question about how can you create these surfaces. Okay. And you were wondering about that in Blender or Houdini, Carlos?
Blender, in Blender.
In Blender. So I'm just going to move this whole thing.
Like, what is the difference between the four surfaces? Like, what values are changing?
Here, so when you look at the size of these, the cubes, right? This is much bigger, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you go to the modifier and the remesh, you see the oak tree depth. Oak tree depths, if you get the higher number, you get the smaller cube. If you have a smaller number, you get bigger cube. So for instance, this the one here I had before was like, I think 6 or something. So you see how like this changes its shape and the size of the boxes based on this oak tree depth. But what if you do like 8 or 9? It creates a more geometry, right? And then after that, it's all just the slight scale changes. You don't exactly have to follow what I'm doing. You just need to play with it.
Okay,
and
but
also threshold you need to change. You can change.
But the main difference between the four of them is in the remesh node, right? The oak tree depth and the scale. That's
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And then you just went to dual mesh for all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay.
You got it. Okay. Yeah. And yeah, we cover everything. I was hoping to have some time to do some processing for the to compare like different images. I mean, we wouldn't write the code ourselves, but then let me show you what are some possibilities that this kind of class could be potentially my next workshop if I keep working with Sumin and Hamjun. So let me show you. Do you guys see? Let me actually make this a view. There are like variations in this images, right? How does one differ from another one? This is within the same kind of let's say data set size. This is from the same data set size. But how does the machine sees the similarity between the one thing to another thing? This code is how I was measuring the variations between. Okay, so here, like when you look at these images, you can, by using this the image matching the script, you could pick out few elements that's within the similar, let's say, color range, similar like features, to cut out basically the elements automatically, so that you don't actually have to go through the Photoshop process of like individually cutting, like what do you like. You can actually automate this process as well. And something like this can happen as well. If you like the glass facade, you can select the color range that is for this like a glass panels, and then you can have this as your composition for your facade design. You see like all this type of elements you can pick up from your composition, and you can basically put this in your Blender and then make a nice image, or nice three-dimensional tessellation. And there are a few other stuff. For instance, you can do like image healing, like so that your facade is fragmented and then come up as you go. So that you animate your the TSNE image as a more overlay from one to another. So there are a lot of fun that you can have with this sort of process. And another thing that I can cover is more in depth of how you use Unreal to make game and just and how to render with the Unreal or Twinmotion. these kind of stuff, or do some other machine learning classes in the future. Before you guys go, is there any comments or any thoughts? Because this is the first time for me to teach a workshop, so I'm sure there were many things lacking. If you guys have any complaints or just a general feedback, I would appreciate any of your input over there. And if I do another workshop, let me know if you want me to cover something in the future with the SDP, so that we can have some idea if there is a need outside for a certain topic. Yeah. Before you guys go, do you guys want to turn on the camera and say bye?
Yeah, actually, I'm wondering, like, this is very interesting. This is like a lot of information in like 3 days, and
Yeah.
I'm like very interested in this like area. Do you think you can like give us some like maybe materials or resources that we can further to get to know more about this like computational architecture stuff, or just things related?
I mean, Sumin's the platform has a lot of tutorial that's related to the Unity and related to generative design. So if you're interested, you can take their classes, some of their classes, and there are some tutorials out there on the YouTube that you can search for it. If you, let's say, search for computational design and architecture using like JavaScript or Java or like Python, you can probably find a lot of information. That's how I learned it. Is there anything else? Hey, Lara. Hi.
Super sleepy.
What time is it over there?
5 a.m.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but I look into the point cloud, the thing that you talked about. I was hoping that I would have some time to cover how I interpreted the point cloud using the depth analysis to create the facade assembly. But we didn't have time. But you know, maybe next time I can do something about the point cloud. Yeah.
You did great. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Sang-Young.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I'm gonna rewatch it. You know, some of the final parts, but yeah.
Okay. Was I talking too fast or too slow in general, or I don't know. Like, so in terms of a pace, was it okay, especially for the coding part? Yeah.
It was okay, I think.
Okay.
Yeah,
it was okay, I think.
Yeah,
okay.
For people who have at least a little bit experience with like coding stuff or processing in general, it's all right, it's good. But I feel like for some parts, like because it's actually like kind of hard, the coding part, so I can't like copy like write by my side and at the same time listening to you. That's kind of like so it's better for me just like watching what you do and then use your code. Yeah, so I definitely want to spend more time after, like to just read over stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah. Don't push you to go over this, because later on you would forget what I did and think, oh, what the hell is this? And you end up with just my code. You cannot change anything. That's really not really good for you. So yeah, review it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for the feedback, guys.
And
hopefully.
yeah, I figured out the reason why this happened on my Houdini. It was because of the graphic card, and I updated, now it worked. So I gotta watch your recording video later, and I figured it out how it goes. So I mean, if there's questions comes out, I will I'd like to reach out to you.
Sure. Yeah. Feel free to reach out to me. Yeah, we can
thank
schedule
you.
something. Yeah, for the private Zoom if you constantly have a problem.
Yeah, sweet. Thank you.
Yeah, I have a more like a general question for this topic. It's like on the description, it's saying like we choose like a part of the area that we're interested in doing. And do you feel like this sort of like computational ways of doing this kind of like architecture generation can show some, like, for example, if like I'm in New York City, if I do like something in New York City, can it show like a really different cultural effect comparing like what do you do in LA or like in different places of work, or is it more just like um, uh, um, more based on like algorithm, like generating with colors and stuff, or can it actually show some thing that happening in the real world architecture, like the
Yeah. That's that was actually almost like a thesis question, I think. So as I cannot for sure say like it can or it cannot, but then when you think about it, you go to like let's say Paris to feel the Paris. What does you make you feel like you're in Paris? Probably the urban environment, in my opinion. And then the Paris, let's say, has a very specific types of a building, which was built right after the World War II, after their, just like a great destruction from the war. They built specific types of architecture over there, so the aesthetic over there is quite, stagnant from that era. But on the other hand, if you go to the New York, New York has a certain area that is like a very typical like an East Coast building where you have like a kind of a half underground and then you have this like a step up, the brick building on the like a upper East Coast and upper West Coast. But then if you go to Manhattan, there are like a pretty iconic buildings that over there that you recognize instantly. And LA is a little bit different because LA as a downtown is very small. It's more of a horizontal, the city. So you see actually more of a suburban type of a home in the LA, which will create completely different aesthetic, in my opinion. So that if you are not biased to harvest the information on the certain cities, then you would actually have a very different sets of a data set. For instance, if you go to Tokyo, like I feel like it will be very different from, let's say, Shanghai as a city. So, I mean, this is more of a theoretical question rather than the technical question. So I cannot give you actually a particular answer. But since this was my thesis topic, I think that this is as far as how I understood, and then how I wanted to what I wanted to bring into the computational design, because oftentimes computational design, I feel like it just like it ended up becoming about form. It doesn't really include the specificity of the specific culture. Like LA as a city, what makes LA is the urban environment and then the people. But in architecture, we cannot include the people. I try to include the architectural elements that's about the LA in some ways. I'm not sure how successful it is. It's I think up for the public to decide. But then I thought it was an interesting approach.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So actually, that's kind of interesting that, I mean, for example, like this workshop, we try to find that, let's say, aesthetic element through the elevation capturing, right? So what else could be? Do you have some specific other idea or some opinions? Like, I mean, if you have some other chance, you can have some other chance to bring some other aesthetic kind of sources that we can implement the design.
One thing that I think that I can think of is that it will create very weird image, but then we can collect the architectural elements in interior. Like for example, each based on the era, like over the stylistic era, you would have a completely different doorknob design, completely different door, completely different window, completely different like a furniture setting. Like how does the machine recognize that and then trying to assemble some sort of interior condition? I think that's one aspect that we can think about. And also on top of the, let's say, the facades, you can actually intentionally put vegetation and the skies to make some void space. Just like how I showed you on the this cat photo. You remember the cat photo that I had? This is like intentionally just white, right? But then what if this becomes a sky and then you have a intentional some sort of a void space that is segregated by the TSNE, and then what if you use like a door, window, and these different types of architectural elements to create interior space? That's something that I can quickly think about.
Interesting. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your idea. I think
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
all interesting. So yeah, honestly, yeah, I'm working at the architecture firm right now. So, and also we are in the research group. So we always keep thinking about like, how can we make all the design process more faster and more efficient than compared to others. So we try to implement something different process. So usually we capture images or some ideas from the Pinterest or Google images searches, and we can just like a negotiation between the client and people like architect. But if there's a kind of some design different methodology, yeah, definitely it'll be really interesting to implement it.
Yeah, of course. So. Yeah. Okay. Thank you all of you for staying this late and trying to learn something from me. So thank you everyone.
It was fun.
And,
thank you.
I hope I was helpful.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Hopefully see you guys soon. Yeah.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Okay, thank you.